The elements of an effective consumer protection. Every individual is a consumer, regardless of occupation, age, gender, community, or religious affiliation. Consumer rights and welfare are now an integral part of the life of an individual, and we all have made use of them at some of our or the other point in our daily routine. So the elements of an effective consumer protection are the consumer rights and consumer responsibilities. So in the consumer rights, first is the right to basic needs. So this right reminds you to prioritize your needs over luxuries or unnecessary wants and focus on the quality of goods and services rather than the brand, high price, and quantity. This is your right to have access to basic and essential goods and services such as adequate food, clothing, shelter, healthcare, education, public utilities, water, and sanitation. So in dealing with the needs, we must look for that are essential to us, and it should need to be prioritized than anything else. So second is the right to safety. This is your right to be protected against the marketing of goods or provisions of services that are hazardous to your health and life. So you can read first the label of a certain product to see its precautions, warning signs, expiration date, and PS, or that stands for Philippine Standards, or ICC import commodity clearance marks. So if needed, you can also ask for a professional consultant to learn more about the product. You have a right to products that are safe to use. Product liability is the legal responsibility that manufacturers have to make a safe product. So, third is the right to information. This is your right to be given the facts you need to make informed choices and be protected against dishonest or misleading advertising and labeling. So, before purchasing a product, you can read its label carefully to know its use, content, number of pieces, proper handling, and manufacturer. So, as a consumer, you have a right to receive and accurate information. Consumers can make wise decisions only if they have the information they need. And businesses are required to provide a certain details about their products. So, for example, drug companies must list the complete contents of every medicine. So, clothing manufacturers must list the fibers used in materials. Packaged foods must show all the ingredients, with the main one listed first. So, companies provide this information through product labeling. So, fourth is the right to choose. So, this is your right to select from a range of goods and services at competitive prices with an assurance of satisfactory quality. You can always canvass for prices of similar or wide array of goods and services offered in the market before purchasing. Like in the United States market economy, the consumers can also choose from a wide variety of goods and services. So businesses compete to sell their products to consumers. They offer new products at lower prices, higher quality, or improved services to get you to choose their products. And the fifth is the right to representation. So this is your right to express your interest as a consumer in the making and execution of government policies. You can attend public hearings or meetings regarding consumer issues to be aware of how consumer laws and regulations are being implemented in your area. So, six is the right to redress. So, this is your right to be compensated for misinterpretation, should they goods or unsatisfactory services. In case you have bought a defective product, you can return to the store, look for the consumer welfare desk, and request a replacement or refund or repair of the product. So, seventh is the right to a healthy environment. So this is your right to live and work in an environment that is neither threatening nor dangerous, but rather permits a life of dignity and well-being. The government then must play its role in enforcing environmental and sanitation laws on factories, stores, and shops, while you need to reduce, reuse, and recycle the waste from your consumption. So consumer movements and government agencies across the whole world work closely to ensure that consumers' issues are noticed and heard. So, eight is the right to be heard. Cause consumers who have complaints about products or services have a right to be heard. Suppose you buy a bike helmet from a sporting goods store, and after wearing the helmet a few times, you find that the chin straps keeps coming loose. So you have the right to let the store know you are not satisfied with that helmet. Businesses rely on customer satisfaction. So the purpose of the customer service department is to listen to the concerns of the customers. 9 is the right to have problems corrected. So sometimes products do not work properly after they are purchased. So usually if a customer takes a defective item back to a store with a receipt, the business will replace it or issue a refund. So if a business cannot or will not correct a problem, consumers can write to the manufacturer to find out how to get the matter resolved. So if the manufacturer will not help, of course, a government agency might be your next step. So the right to consumer education is the number 10. So consumers have the right to learn how a market system works. So you should know how to get the best value and satisfaction for your money. So when you decide to buy an item, you should know that different stores might charge different prices. So you should know how to comparison shop to find the best buy. Check the information required by law on labels and read fact sheets about products. So this is your right to acquire the knowledge and skills necessary to be informed consumer. You can read newspapers, magazines, and other materials that may educate you on how to get the best value for your money. You can also participate in seminars, conferences, and for regarding consumer products, new concepts and developments which are conducted by the government agencies, consumer groups, and businesses or industry of course will be followed. And 11 is the right to service. Customers have a right to be treated in a respectful and courteous manner. So you have the right to expect prompt delivery of goods or services that meet the standard of quality a business claim. So you also have the right to be served without discrimination on the basis of your race, gender, income, or age. So these rights apply wherever you are being served. And in the consumer responsibilities rather, first is the responsibility to be informed. Responsible consumer know what they are buying. When you shop for food, read the labels for nutritional facts. Products labels can tell you how much salt, sugar, fat, or protein a product contains. When you shop for clothes, read the labels to find out what materials they contain. The labels will also indicate how the clothes should be cleaned. Before making a major purchase, you should always do some homework. Some consumers read the fact sheets from the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commissions, and the fact sheets tell how a product is rated on safety, performance, and value. So there is also lots of information on the internet. Read consumer magazines such as Consumer Reports and Consumers Research Magazine, which evaluate and rate the products. So most consumers organizations and manufacturers have websites. And second is the responsibility to use the product safely. So consumer must follow the instructions provided in the product manuals or other materials on the safe use of products. So for example, a consumer must read the label of a cold remedy to find out its recommended dosage. If you know a product is unsafe, first is contact the seller or the producer about it. So if no action is taken by the company, contact a consumer protections agency. Then third is the responsibility to speak out. So responsible consumers can help improve the policies and products of the businesses where they shop. So they can let a company know if they are satisfied with its products or policies. Consumers also have a responsibility to report unfair, unsafe, and illegal businesses practices. This helps to protect other consumers from problems. If you object to company's policies or products, you could organize a boycott. So it is a refusal to buy its goods or services. Boycotting is usually a last resort for consumers who have not received an adequate response from a company. Fourth is the responsibility to seek a remedy. So part of being a good consumer is getting the best value for your money. So you have a responsibility to seek a remedy for a defective product. And if you plan to exchange an item or get a refund, you must take back the item, the receipt, and any warranties or guarantees that came with it. If the store cannot solve the problem to your satisfaction, you should contact the manufacturer or a consumer organization for a help. Fifth is the responsibility to learn consumer skills. Find information to help you make consumer decision. It is a bit overwhelming to think of researching every purchase before it is made. However, there are several ways to develop your consumer skills. As first is read information on labels and packages, and compare prices at different stores and look for sales. Pay attention to the media to become aware of illegal practices. Read consumer information publications and attend classes or workshops on consumer issues and problems. Always remember that your knowledge of consumer rights and responsibilities are the powers to achieve your protection and welfare. But this also calls for your action. You should exercise your rights and responsibilities in order to be protected. By doing so, you can make safe and sound choices in the marketplace. Meanwhile, abusive businesses cannot just take you for granted.